Hey there, I'm Mr. Terry. I'm a high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher Reacts video. One of the channels that I've covered here in my short history of being on YouTube is Reallifelore, and they're a giant of educational videos here on YouTube. But I got recommended a video that, from what I understand, like makes fun of them. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. Now, their video is called Reallifelore Videos Be Like, and this is by a channel called Genuine. But I got this recommended to me, and it sounds like maybe it could be kind of funny. Maybe bringing up like stereotypes of these types of videos that they make. All right, this channel is small, but the videos got over 300,000 views in just 3 weeks. And I'm looking at their comments section, and Reallifelore actually just commented that they love this. All right, so the original video is down below. Make sure to support him, and let's check this out. So I kind of put Reallifelore into that category, kind of like Johnny Harris maybe, where they do these videos and it's very visually appealing, which lends itself to, you know, credibility. Cut that. Cut all that. Back in 3, 2, 1. Now, I kind of put Reallifelore in that category, kind of like Johnny Harris, where the videos are of such high production that it gives itself, just based off of that, like more credibility. And maybe there's something more beyond the surface that we should be looking at if he's saying like Reallifelore videos be like, you know, like, I don't know, are we being fooled or something? Let's see.
Djibouti is perhaps the most fascinating country in the modern world. It's really small. And if you put it over the United States, it's actually still really small. But why does the majority of the population of this fascinating country live in the capital city, also named Djibouti?
By the way, when you were a kid and you heard about Djibouti, I remember hearing about it in like 5th, 6th grade. We all laughed, right? Because it said booty in it.
In fact, over half of all Djiboutians live in this single area. Well, the answer to my clickbait title and thumbnail that I will change later is that the country is actually an inhospitable salt desert.
Yeah,
and there's a fucking volcano in the middle of it, which is shitty if you're trying to live. Now that the reason you clicked on this video has been answered, I'm going to steal the next 30 minutes of your life and give you a sometimes well-researched, if not a bit simplistic overview of this nation's geopolitical landscape.
Well, that's every video. Every video, historical video, is an oversimplification. It's not a dissertation. It doesn't have hundreds of pages of research and stuff like that in it. So that's every video. So I hate when people are always like, that video is too oversimplified. Well, of course it is. That's what a video is.
It's history, and to be honest, whatever else I feel like talking about, so I can extend the length of this video. And don't
want to get to that magical number time in the algorithm, you know.
Even though this video is about Djibouti, I'll somehow figure out a way to talk about the Russian invasion of Ukraine, North Korea for some reason, and of course, everyone's favorite Taiwan. Yeah. Because, my dear viewer, in the Church of Real Life,
that's all the hot topics.
This is our holy trinity.
It really is.
Pray to when in need of content.
Dude, it's so real, because it's like, I was just mentioning Johnny Harris.
This is our holy trinity.
Right now, you make, I mean, in the last few years now, make video on those 3 things, you're good. Your video is good. You can just do that, just over and over. and oh my God, Reallifelore has done that so much. When the Ukraine war started, it was like, just like bam, bam. And they must have a huge team of writers and editors because man, they just were putting it out. It felt like every week, high like production value videos.
We pray to when in need of content. But let's be honest here, we both know that as long as I keep this high quality stock footage rolling, this voice serious and monotone, you'll believe anything I say as I slowly hypnotize you with my high production quality. And before you know it, 30 minutes of your conscious experience will be mine forever.
Yeah, 30 minutes
You'll be injecting my exclusive Nebula and Curiosity Stream videos directly into your bloodstream.
You gotta do that.
Loyal viewer you are.
Get that sponsor in there,
Djibouti
baby.
lies at the center of
right, because it's like you get the unfiltered stuff. Right, the stuff that is going to get demonetized, which I mean is fair. Someone like Reallifelore wants to do these videos that some of it could get demonetized, so you got to go to that third party.
The most geographically important areas on the planet,
irrelevant,
only beaten by the world's most important location, Bouvet Island, noted for its lack of League of Legends and Hearts of Iron 4 players. Djibouti's unique geographic positioning in the Horn of Africa makes it a soft power-wielding heavyweight in the region. It is vital to controlling the international flow of Nebula and Curiosity Stream subscriptions. States all over the world, especially in Europe, are forced by geography geography to have an interest in this small strait which acts as a choke point for commerce.
Dude, this is
Even in
good.
Djibouti's local neighborhood,
Oh, gosh.
its positioning is essential for its much larger, landlocked neighbor Ethiopia, who relies on Djibouti for access to the sea so it can import CuriosityStream subscriptions. It's
Going back to this, I got to insert my history, right? It's supposed to be, it makes me different than a lot of the other actors, right? Because I came here for history. The Italians understood how relevant this area was. It's why they went after Ethiopia again after they had got their butts kicked back in like the late 1800s. And Mussolini heads back there because, you know, like obviously the Suez Canal is important, but guess what? You can't use the Suez Canal if you don't also go through this strait of water. So you've got to, you want to get as much of this territory as you can, and they will temporarily get it, and then independence goes back. But around Ethiopia, Eritrea as well.
no wonder then why so many
Djibouti.
nations have military bases in this small but critical part of the world. But if we're truly going to understand this topic with more depth, then we have to travel back in time to the initial Western migration of Turkic tribes from Central Asia into what we would call the Middle East and beyond.
I mean, be honest, every historical context video you can throw in Turkic tribes, because like history is nothing but Turkic related invasions. Like for real, look at it, tie everything back to it.
These many different Turkic tribes would go on to create empires and states of their own.
And head
But the
down to
one relevant
that area
our
around
story
Djibouti.
traveled all the way
Eventually.
across Central Asia and established a medieval rump state of their own, which
Ottoman
although was a
Empire.
small part of the larger Turkish world, would go on to become the Ottoman Empire, a massive entity spanning 3 continents based in Constantinople.
500 years.
But what lied ahead of Constantinople was
Istanbul.
the European portion of the Ottoman Empire, and much of the population
harder to
here
control.
were Christians who didn't like being under the rule of the Muslim Turks.
Right.
This would become a major source of unrest in the region. Meanwhile,
See, now we've completely deflected from Djibouti, but it's going to come back, but it's still engaging. That's why you're still watching it. You wouldn't have watched a whole video about Djibouti and stuck with the whole thing.
the neighboring Russian Empire would gradually see itself as the protector of Christian subjects
That's true.
in the Ottoman world, especially as it viewed itself as the guardian of the Orthodox Church and the inheritor of the Roman legacy after the fall of Constantinople.
Hey, you're going to see this Russian investment into the Balkan region when it comes to World War I, II, and why the Russians came running to the aid of the Serbians. They had long been the protectors here of these Orthodox, Slavic folks. And they're like the big brothers of the Balkans. And they hate
conflict between these
and they hate the Ottomans because they've been fighting over the Black Sea and been fighting for forever because they both want control of it. Russia needs warm water ports, and Black Sea's their only option.
Political entities was not just a religious one, as despite what ideological or religious or moral high ground countries claim to have, the truth is that states operate in what's good for their self-interest.
Same XD.
This is what's called Realpolitik,
Hey.
and if you've ever played a Paradox multiplayer game, you know what it feels like.
Or if you watched anything recently about Henry Kissinger's life, because he died recently, he was a proponent of Realpolitik. Check out the video if you want to hear me talk a little bit more about that. The video I did commentary on of Johnny Harris's overview of Kissinger, which was just a couple weeks ago.
Saxony is Austrian clay.
We should be allowed to have relations with an
Oh
Asian.
gosh.
No, you shouldn't. You're
Boy,
like,
4
you're
kids.
trying to groom out a Saxony. They're just like a minor power.
No,
They're a minor. You're a fucking great power.
You're a great power. You're like keeping him in your basement.
Oh gosh.
Like,
Boy,
you
4
are-
kids.
I made him.
Yeah,
I'm
because
the
you're-
owner.
probably 'cause
Y'all are
you're
so
playing all
funny.
over him.
And interest and weird.
all to say, he
Weird
was
and
very
funny, and I love you all you Hoi 4 guys. I know I have a huge community of them. I love you guys, and I appreciate the fact that all of you are like, yeah, we're actually kind of weird. That you just buy into it.
simply in the interest of the Russian Empire to have control over the Black Sea and expand its power into the Balkans. The propaganda and narratives simply follow along to fit their goals. If we fast forward to today, Turkey is still
Everyone.
putting its own interests above all else, even in its own allies in NATO, as it continues to create tension with Greece over the Aegean Sea and Cyprus.
Turkey's always been an interesting part, like with NATO, because it's like, to so many, it doesn't feel like Turkey would be a NATO nation, right? Yes, they're Islamic, and it's always been like this West versus East, and Europe versus the old Ottoman Empire, and some of which of it, to be honest, came down to strategic importance as well. The United States got on Turkey's side because of their proximity to Russia, and after World War II, that was a very useful thing because you could put nukes there. So there was that relationship.
Meanwhile, holding up Sweden from even joining NATO in the first place. And if we take a look
Don't
at
need
all
Sweden,
the big
right?
scary arrows on the map, we can see that this is in spite
Don't share
of
a
Russia's
hostile
current
border.
occupation and invasion.
Big scary arrows. Yes, these videos, like especially real life lore, there are so many arrows. Have you ever noticed that? Like thumbnails or anything, it's all arrows, and it's just like it draws your attention, and it's just, I don't know, you know what I
You
mean?
can see that this is in spite of
They're
Russia's
scary,
current
yeah.
occupation and invasion parts of Ukraine, which has sparked a revival and expansion of NATO. But even
You're right.
international outrage caused by the Russian war in Ukraine is not enough to make Turkey put aside its own interests. And that's why NATO's biggest internal problem is Turkey.
I was just saying that because Turkey still kind of does their own thing outside of probably the wishes of NATO and getting involved in stuff again, like Syria and what's going on, like what goes on with the Kurds. Yeah, I haven't seen that video for Real Life Lore. Do you guys want me to cover Real Life Lore videos? I really probably don't do a lot for as big of a channel it is, and how much I mean, it's a lot of it's geopolitical, and I get into some of that, more like pure history, but they put in history stuff too. I don't know. Should I cover more?
Now, if you're wondering why I just gave a brief overview of a part of Turkish
Yep,
history
tied to
and
Djibouti.
managed to name drop Ukraine and NATO and Sweden and Russia,
Oh,
it's
algorithm
not
loves
because
it.
I forgot what the original topic was supposed to be. It's actually because in the year 1542, the Ottoman Empire militarily aided the Adal Sultanate, which held territory where today the modern state of Djibouti is. And together, they fought the Portuguese and Ethiopians in battle, which had a significant impact on the history of Djibouti.
This is the era of 1500s. Portuguese empire is at its highest point. They were the first European to put in little colonies and ports and stuff like that around Africa as they were trying to create basically a monopoly in the Indian Ocean spice trade, and put them against the Ottoman Empire actually quite a bit, because Ottoman Empire was also a force, up there, and really just like Muslim nations in general had been the ones that had dominated the seafaring there, and they hated the Portuguese for that, because Portuguese were pretty ruthless in their kind of hijacking, if you want to say it, and monopolizing the Indian Ocean trade network.
And in order to tell you that, I had to give you the entire background of the Turkish people, the Ottoman Empire, a bit of NATO, Ukraine, and Russia as historical context. But to truly understand
Yeah, I'm all
Djibouti's
about it.
position on the world stage, we
Context.
have to fast forward again to the modern day, where
Yeah.
we can see that 90% of Djibouti's exports are
is what?
YouTube videos about geopolitics, and they're going mostly to China. And if you want to know why, it's because Chairman Xi Jinping's
Except China doesn't have YouTube.
And they're going mostly to China. And if you want to know why, it's because Chairman Xi Jinping's Nebula subscription has expired, causing massive economic collapse in the country, as without the constant
country's
stream of
collapsing.
clickbait geopolitical content,
have so
suicide
many.
rates are rapidly increasing,
There's
causing
so
the
many
population to
videos.
fall. It's estimated that by 2050, China's population could drop to 5 people in total, unless someone can afford to renew Chairman Xi's subscription. And this is why China is shrinking fast. But there is one plan to
And because it's in a highly produced video, it works. They're not getting their Nebula subscriptions. Dude, they're so good. No wonder like Nebula and stuff use Real Life Lore, I mean, this isn't Real Life Lore, but you know what I mean? It's like they are very good at advertising their stuff. It's a good channel to advertise with, especially for geopolitics. There's just 5 Chinese people left.
save the Chinese Communist Party, and that is because it's been recently discovered that Johnny Harris is currently making geopolitical YouTube videos in Taiwan. This gives the island of Taiwan extreme value on the international stage.
You gotta put Johnny
because
in.
it's estimated that if mainland China
He
could
loves
reunify with the
Taiwan
island,
videos.
not only would its population maintain a healthy growth, but it would break the island chain led by the United States, designed to keep the CCP
Yeah.
isolated from the wider geopolitical YouTube market.
Dude, have you did I know I watched it. I can't remember if I did a video or a commentary video on the Johnny Harris like Taiwan thing, but I know I saw it, and it's like very like ominous with like the blockades and all that. Or was it a Real Life Lore? No, I swear I saw Johnny Harris video on it. Kyle, so many freaking videos. I can't keep track anymore of what I watch on my own versus what I watch on this channel. I really should just only watch videos that I do make videos on.
Will China invade Taiwan next? The answer is most likely, because if you look at the map, you'll see multiple arrows pointing towards Taiwan. And everyone knows the more arrows I put on the map, the more likely an invasion happens. And to be honest, I could just keep doing this.
I love it.
I mean, I could add so many arrows
Johnny
that
does
are
this
so
too,
beautifully
though.
animated,
Kinda.
it won't even matter what the Chinese Communist Party wants.
Oh my God.
They'll simply be forced to invade.
Yeah, dude, Taiwan's screwed. Look how many arrows there are. They're done. I don't want to count them. There's no shot.
But if you really want to know why the Chinese People's Republic is so good at war, it's because they have experience at it. I'm not talking about their military expansion into Xinjiang or Tibet, because those have always been historically part of China. I'm talking about the Chinese intervention in the Korean War to help the North Koreans in their unification of the South.
Literally doing the trifecta, like he was saying. You in your videos, you gotta, it doesn't matter what you bring up, you gotta bring up North Korea. Was it North Korea, Ukraine, and China? Was that right? You do that and you're good.
North Korea, while failing to unify the peninsula because of a United Nations intervention, also gained valuable combat experience and would go on to create the most militarized state in the world. And to be honest with you, I don't know how North Korea
bro,
is
you didn't
preparing to
watch?
attack Ukraine
You see this?
in the world. And to be honest with
It's you, Ukrainian soldiers. Yo, how'd they get here? Bro, you didn't watch why North Korea is preparing to attack Ukraine next? Is that a video? Is that a video? I'm checking after this video, or put in the comments why North Korea is preparing to attract Ukraine next. Dude, that is algorithm gold right there. Whether that's a real video or not, I haven't seen that. And the whole, like, whenever they posted this 8 days ago, 1.5 million. I mean, there you go. It just exemplified that. You're the holy trinity of geopolitical content.
I don't know how North Korea is preparing to attack Ukraine, but once again, my pupils, if we pay close attention, we'll see a high number of arrows in the thumbnail, which can mean only one
because they're right
thing:
next to each
a
other.
glorious liberation on the shores of the Black Sea to expand North Korea into Ukraine.
They got to go through Djibouti.
Probably be renamed to West Korea. Did you catch that one, viewer? Let's look at that one more time, but a little bit slower. That's right. You thought I forgot about the point of the video again, but I didn't.
Djibouti is
because, as you can clearly see, the invasion path of North Korea into West Korea clearly passes through Djibouti's territorial waters. This goes to show just how vital Djibouti's geographic positioning truly is.
It's not even Djibouti.
Even for a country as far away as North Korea, they are totally reliant on the Djiboutian government who controls this strait in order to facilitate their liberation of West Korea. But there's something that I've yet to mention. Something that is the glorious Central African Empire, which is set to invade Djibouti at the time of this video's upload. This will have major geopolitical consequences around the world, and you can learn more about it in my Modern Conflict series, where I'm yapping for 50 minutes straight instead of yapping for 30 minutes straight.
Yes. Yes. Wait, what's he doing? He's printing out. Hold on. Send your thoughts and prayers to Genuine. He really needs them right now. Hope he gets better, mate. My thoughts go out to him. Hope he gets better, sis. My thoughts go out to him. Oh no. What happened? It's on his Discord. Something happened.
Thank you, Sister Avanti. $10 coming on the Cash App.
Ukraine to I'll go back to it. Ukraine to USA after USA. Have them 75 billion instead of 100 billion. Hold on.
Thank you, Sister Avanti. $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20. But thank you for that.
Oh my God.
Barely had that.
Was that guy for real? Do people doing that? Oh my gosh. Final thoughts. Oh my God, such good observational humor. I mean, that's what this was, of bringing to life things and stereotypes that we all, I guess, kind of miss. And again, props to Real Life Lore, because they do a great job on their videos and stuff. But it's so funny when you can pick out the trends and just the expectations and cliches that happen in these types of videos. And it was funny that he brought in Johnny Harris, because it made me, of course, think of him too, because I feel like those two, like geopolitics wise, share so much in common, are in such at the upper tier of popularity of that stuff. So just great job with, it's genuine here, this channel that caught on to those cliches, and then we could all laugh at them. So anyway, what'd you all think of this? This was a lot of fun. Thanks for recommending it, you guys. Do you want me to watch and check out more Real Life Lore videos on here? I feel like I watch a lot of them on my own, and sometimes I'm like, are they good reaction videos or not? You know, sometimes I've done it. Sometimes they're kind of long, and sometimes the longer ones don't fare as well here. But I don't know. If you would like me to, it's definitely something I can do, because there's plenty of content for me to cover on that. All right, with that, y'all, we'll see you next time. Bye.